Welcome to this 15th lesson in our Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council CCAC 1.0 training series. This is CCAC Lesson 1.15 in our series. There are a few principles that we need to take a moment to review again and understand thoroughly as a critical part of our CCAC organizational strategy from the beginning. 1. Vested authority. As we mentioned in our second lesson in CCAC 1.2, to be vested is to be authorized to act in an official capacity in a civil function recognized within a designated political jurisdiction. The word vested originated from the idea in the common law of England that an official, such as a magistrate, constable, sheriff, mayor, judge, or other civil authority, put on his literal vest prior to assuming his public role on a certain day in the community. He did this act of vesting in order to make it clear he was acting in a public official capacity rather than as a private subject or citizen. Such vesting is seen today in the offices of police officers, firemen, EMTs, and other first responders, as well as in elected officials including mayors, supervisors, councilmen, governors, legislators, school zoning or water board members, judges, state attorneys, county clerks, tax assessors or collectors, and any other officials who are fulfilling their public duty and have regulatory authority. It also applies to bureaucrats when they are working in a public office, such as an employee, though their vested authority is limited by their job description as established by law. In the context of our study, it's important to note that there is a time in American history that the average able-bodied male was fully vested with similar public authority, but that vesting was discharged significantly through changes in laws after the Civil War in both the South, also surprisingly in the North, and categorically dissolved across the United States in the early 1900s. It is important to explain in a future presentation why and how this happened and the consequences of this divestiture upon the polity, that is, the people organized politically, of the American people. Number 2, subsidiarity. As we explained in lessons 1.2, 1.3, 1.5, and 1.6, subsidiarity is a very important, indeed essential component of true national security, but from the bottom up, not the top down. In order for us to practice and maintain subsidiarity, it is vital, even imperative, that the people in every local community solve their problems as close to the source of the problem as possible. Remember, all problems are local problems somewhere. In order to practice subsidiarity, the people in the local community must possess all of the necessary information closest to the source that is needed to solve that local problem, while they also must have and be able to access all of that information at all times from every available source that there is. The local people must also possess the mechanism or form to be able to solve their local problems at the source of them, and they must also have the authority or vesting as individuals and as a whole community to be able to do so as well. The local jury system is one part of what must be revitalized for this purpose, and any public policies, federal, state, or local laws, rules, regulations, or ordinances which prevent such local civic authority must be immediately rescinded and removed. Another localized authority must be the power of the county, and we'll discuss this in the future as well. Only when a community's situation cannot be solved locally is it necessary to go to a higher level of government to solve any local problem. We, the people, must come together to revitalize proper subsidiarity immediately. 3. Popular sovereignty. We talked about popular sovereignty in lessons 1.2, 1.7, and 1.13, as we further recognize that the laws of human nature and nature's God include the idea that we are created in the image and likeness of our Creator. As such, we have individual sovereignty over most aspects of our lives. When, however, joining together in a body politic, we also have the ability to join with our other fellow citizens into a popular sovereignty in which the good people join together to become the unified public weal, or as the Declaration of Independence states, the good people, and the U.S. Constitution identifies us in the first 3 words, we the people. More will be discussed on this very important and vital political power in the future as well. 4. Popular self-government. We have already stated a number of times that we as a people are smart enough, strong enough, and competent enough to govern ourselves. As we join together with our fellow citizens locally in subsidiarity, we possess this ability of self-government at the most local level in our neighborhoods, our communities, our towns, villages, boroughs, cities, parishes, counties, and other subdivisions of our states, up to the state level, and then combine into the United States. This is also the principle of federalism that is expressed in the 10th Amendment. Ultimately, we the people remain the civil government, and the civil government remains we the people. And 5, popular resistance. Whenever any form of government undermines or attempts to destroy our inalienable rights, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish, adjust, or to resist such government. Resistance is an unalienable right of the popular sovereignty who are exercising their power of popular self-government. We have fully reviewed how the Declaration of Independence makes this abundantly clear. The entire purpose of this thorough explanation over the nearly 3 hours of lessons in sequence is to lay the foundation for why caucus is forming across America and what we are here to do, not just in the theoretical or abstract sense, but with the aim toward a practical, very tangible, and concrete answer or remedy for law-abiding citizens everywhere in this country, not just with words, but actions, in which Americans who care and want to do something will have the ability and the authority to do something. But in summary, it's very important that we understand these several basic things, all of us. 1, that our rights do not come from our government. Conversely, civil governments do not exist to give us our rights. 2, that our rights cannot be taken away from us by our civil governments without just cause through due process of law, and only when we have done something to cause such removal, such as treason, felony, or other capital or serious crimes. Conversely, that governments exist to protect and preserve our rights from being taken from us as its most legitimate purpose. William Blackstone, in his Commentaries on the Laws of England 1:93, defined unalienable rights as, quote, those rights then which God and nature have established and therefore called natural rights, such as life and liberty, need not the aid of human laws to be more effectually invested in every man than they are. Neither do they receive any additional strength when declared by the municipal laws to be inviolable. On the contrary, no human legislature has power to abridge or destroy them unless the owner shall himself commit some act that amounts to a forfeiture, end quote. In the next lesson, we will expand more on these legitimate reasons why we may do what caucus is proposing. This completes the 15th lesson, entitled CCAC 1.15. Thank you for listening to this 15th segment as part of our CCAC 1.0 series in our national orientation. Please join us for the next lesson in this series as we continue to unfold the Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council story. This is the extraordinary process in which CCAC will successfully provide continuity of government of, by, and for the people. In our next lesson, CCAC 1.16, we will go on to explain further details of how we implement our Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council. If you realize the necessity of revitalizing constitutional polity at the state and local level, please join this cause by going to www.ccac-us.com and registering on our official website. Take Pre-Quiz 1.0. We then urge you to work through the entire CCAC 1.0 series to understand the continuity of essential information we provide to help us all be on the same page. Then, upon passing the post-quiz with a perfect score, you will be directed on how to take the next step in the process of becoming a member of this vital organization. Please don't shortchange this process. Listen to and study the CCAC 1.0 material carefully. If you have questions or concerns about what you are learning so far or issues affecting your community, please refer to the links connected to this lesson or contact the person who gave you this information. We extend our best wishes from the Citizens Constitutional Advocacy Council.